All right. Let's start our session today. Warm greetings to everyone joining from across the world in different time zones. So, a good morning, good afternoon, and perhaps good evening to all of you joining today. My name is Abid Haq, and I'm the manager of the MERL unit at IDE Bangladesh. And with me, I have my colleague Paresh Monidas, who is the technical specialist for MERL for a nutrition program for which we will be presenting our case studies today. It's called the Transforming Lives Through Nutrition Project. Today, for this year's Global theme, we are presenting on the topic from field to data, from field data to trusted decisions, building trustworthy digital moral workflows in Bangladesh's TLTN program. So our session will mostly draw on our experience implementing the TLTN program in Bangladesh and the processes that our colleagues have followed in terms of MERL within the project. So before we start, I wanted to set a couple of ground rules. So I would request all of you to mute your mics while the presenter is speaking. And if you have any questions or if you have difficulty understanding certain things, please feel to post your questions in the chat and we will be responding in due time, and we'll try our best to address your questions in the chat. We will also have time at the end of our presentation for Q&A. So if you have any pressing questions that require response from us, please be a little patient. If you're not hearing back from us instantly, we will allow you time to post your questions at the end when you can unmute your mics. And one more thing, just as a heads up, this session will be recorded as per the requirements of GloCal. So with that, let's begin. So I wanted to start off with a question to the audience. That is, when do you personally trust dashboard data? So the options are A, the source is clear, B, quality assurance checks are documented, C, numbers match field reality, and D, someone can explain the anomalies. So based on your experience or your own opinions, feel free to post your responses in the chat. I see someone saying all of the above, so you're ahead of the game. So let's give ourselves 20 seconds to post our responses in the chat. Okay, I see ABC, so 3 options. All right, anybody else? All right, A and B. Okay, A. Sure. We have a few responses. So the answer for me personally is all of the above, as Fatima in the audience has mentioned as well. So it is important when we're looking at a dashboard that we understand where the data is coming from, and that the checks and balances are in place so that we are not misrepresenting the data in any way. And thirdly, the numbers should reflect what we are seeing on the ground. And finally, well, I suppose what the major role of moral focal is to be able to explain the unexpected results that we sometimes see in our data set. So with that, Let's move on to this year's fourth theme, which is around building trust through the use of artificial intelligence technologies and the various risks and challenges associated with it, alongside how we can leverage this relatively new advent of AI technology that we are continuously learning how to utilize within our programming. So I want to point out that the volume of data does not mean that we have richer evidence in our databases, right? So with increased collection of data that we are currently doing in our programming across the world and across programs, we're collecting more data in terms of GPS locations, photos, as well as a lot of personally identifiable information, which within our standards, we have to ensure that those data are safeguarded. So with increased access to data and the efficiency with which the data is being collected, that leads to more risks within our reports and how we present the data. So there might be duplicates, there might be missing disaggregations that would be useful for our audience. There might be some inconsistencies, and this might weaken the credibility of our data. So the important piece here is, although we are utilizing AI more and more in our workflows, human judgment becomes an even bigger component of our moral tasks, right? So the point we want to make through our presentation today is that a trustworthy digital workflow is essentially a governance system, but it cannot only be like a technology stack, right? So that's the key message we want to present at the top. Then moving on to our agenda today. So we will be covering themes around ethics, standards of data collection and reporting, as I mentioned, human judgment as well, the practical use and application of AI tools, and the various checkpoints we have to go through when designing digital tools, when utilizing AI, uh, before AI is further integrated to enhance our workflow, right? So as I mentioned at the top, the case we will be covering is from the Transforming Lives Through Nutrition project. So we will also be covering uh, subtopics around evidence needs for the project, as my colleague Poresh would be presenting, how AI enhances the moral workflow, and how it also enhances our capabilities for what we can do in terms of saving costs, saving time, making our workflow more efficient, as well as the associated risks that uh, come with it, right? Um, so of course, at the end, we will also have some time to talk about our practical experience and the lessons we have learned, and open the floor for Q&A to the audience. So moving on, I would like to start off with a little bit of background about IDE and the Transforming Lives project itself. So here at IDE, our approach to development has been through market systems development, where we work with market actors, enabling environment actors, as well as that include like government stakeholders, private sector stakeholders. Essentially, our work is around creating entrepreneurs. So we work on the supply chain side as well as the demand creation side through our MSD approach. And on the specific program of focus today, the Transforming Lives Through Nutrition is a multi-year, multi-sectoral nutrition project that contains a consortium of partners, including IDE, Helen Keller International, and Vitamin Angel. So this particular nutrition project has a couple of components. Firstly, there's a nutrition specific component. And secondly, there's a nutrition sensitive component where the multi-sectoral approach of the project really comes through. So that is where IDE's work mostly lies around agricultural production, supply chain strengthening, and enterprise creation, as well as water sanitation and hygiene. So this project is implemented across 12 countries, including Bangladesh. So in Bangladesh, we are operating across 26 upazilas or sub-districts across the eastern and southern belt. And with that, I would like to pass the floor over to our lead presenter today, Parishita. So over to you, Parishita.
Thank you, Abid Bhai. Again, all of you, welcome for joining this session. As you see on the presentation, since 2024, the TLTN digital MERL workflow has strengthened how data move from field data collection to review and decision use. More than 45,000 household level records have been uploaded and validation through digital monitoring. And map helps shows union and upazila coverage, entrepreneur hubs, service delivery point, and geographic gaps. In our Markflow dashboard, bring monthly data streams into Looker Studio views, data loops, including formal tools and field level feedback channel, help teams review and act faster. But the important point is this. These are operational learning example. They show faster review and gather transparency. They are not an important or impact attribution claim. So if you move to next slide, kind of visibility this workflow creates, we'd like to highlight. Yeah, so this slide shows example for what the digital workflow make visible. For entrepreneur dashboard, you can see unique customer for lectin producer, nutrition entrepreneur, menstrual hygiene entrepreneur, and vermicompost entrepreneur. For workflow monitoring, we can track cooking demonstration participant, people trained in improved wash practices, SME and entrepreneur, lead farmer, and like some of the demonstration farmer structure. The value is not the number alone. The value is this figure can be reviewed, filtered, checked, mapped, disaggregated, and use the follow-up. So again, this is our monitoring and dashboard visibility figure. They should not be presented as a direct impact result. So to understand why this number can be trusted, and we need to look behind the dashboard. So if you go to next slide. This one of the most important slide you could see here. A dashboard is only the visible layer of the MERL system. It is not the whole system. Behind the dashboard, we need to indicator architecture, log frame, PITT, global indicator list, definition, and disaggregation rules. In your case, maybe it could be a bit different. Like we need data collection, such as Kobo form, tracker, attendance sheet, sales log, and source document. That's we are using in our MERL workflow. We need quality assurance, including informed checks, source verification, deduplication, also geo quality assurance, also data quality assurance. We also need strong modeling, clean tables, visualization, review, learning, and adaptation. So the message is simple. Trust is built across the system, not only at the final visualization step. Now we'll move from the system architecture to practical field to dashboard workflow. So Abid, if you go on next slide.
All right, perfect. So as Forresta has mentioned, the workflow is definitely important in MERL, but we are not only talking about one tool. As he has presented, there are several steps within the workflow that utilizes different digital tools, including AI-assisted tools. So now we are going into the from data collection at the field level to the final dashboard that is presented to project managers, the project team, as well as donors. Uh, I would invite Forrest that will once again walk us through the chain of steps from data collection all the way through to review and cleaning, and then presenting in a final clean dashboard to our audience. Back over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Abhay. This slide shows the full pipeline. The first step is field data capture using Kobo Collect. This including like GPS, timestamps, photos, signature required fields, data type, skip logic, and offline first collection. After that, the second step is like sync injection. Data moved to the Kobo Toolbox server, then through apps and API in Google Sheet. Raw tables including event, attendance, and ACV registry data. And the third step our team follow is validation and cleaning. These include schema and range check, outlier flags, deduplication logic, and geo-quality assurance against district and union boundaries. The fourth step is dashboard and reporting through Looker Studio. PITT and DIP views, variance alerts, traffic lights, and export. The main lesson is here is do not wait until dashboard review to solve data quality problems. Quality must begin before submission. On the next slide, goes deeper into the invisible work for validation and cleaning and geo quality assurance. So if you move to our next slide, in this slide, that validation and cleaning are often invisible, but they are core work behind the trusted dashboard and service coverage map. First, we can check whether value are within expected limits. Second, we identify outlier that need to review before the interpretation. Third, we check displayed are the same participant or event appearing more than once. Fourth, we check GPS point. Are they inside the expected district or union boundaries? Fifth, we transform raw record into clean tables for analysis. The process is raw data review, clean the map. Trust improve when the records are reviewed, clean, geo-checked, and mapped before dashboard interpretation. So on the next slide, we'll see after data become reviewable, the dashboard can support decision, not just reporting. So this slide shows a dashboard example, which our TLTN project is using. So the dashboard supported monthly monitoring, PITT, DIP tracking, indicator progress against gender and location disaggregation, entrepreneur performance tracking, and export consortium and sometimes donor and government uses. But the dashboard is not only for reporting, it supports decisions. Field team can verify target, identify lagging area, and plan follow-up. MERL team can check missing data, outlier, consistency, and validation need. Management and consortium team can review performance and guide strategy. Government stakeholder can use map to trend for coordination. So this brings us the next session where trust is built. So Abid, over to you on the next slide.
All right. Thank you, Forresta. As you have mentioned, a dashboard can only show us numbers, right? But the important piece is understanding where these numbers are coming from, and we can only trust the numbers if we can explain how they were produced, right? So now, as we are coming to the heart of our discussion today, with all the data that is being collected and reported in dashboards and various reports, how do we ensure trust and accountability, right? So let's hear once again from Forresta about the steps within the validation process and how human review is essential to ensure that we have credibility in what we are reporting to our donors and our stakeholders.
Perfect. Thank you. If you see the slide, that shows 5 trust checkpoints. So first, definition, indicator wording, denominators, disaggregation, and unique reach rules must be clear on our system. Second, source traceability, attendance sheet, GPS, photos, signatures, raw files, and financial record must be linkable to the reported number. Third, validation rules required fields. Schema check, race check, and missing data review should be documented. Fourth, deduplication and geo quality assurance. We need to phone matching, unique keys, district boundaries, and location check. Fifth, human review, which is very important. DQA management discussion, correction logs, and decision meeting are essential. So automation can flag risks, but MERL and program team decide the correct interpretation using indicator definition and field context. Now let me show how formal DQA or data quality assurance turns this idea into a documented mechanism. So if you move to our next slide, on this slide you could see DQA is the formal mechanism that makes trust procedural and documented. So it is not only about finding mistakes, it's about improve the system. Uh, the process including selecting indicators, selecting sites, briefing focal person, verifying report data against source document, comparing the report with source document, and prepare an action plan, and discussing finding with staff and management. This matter because DQ systematically evaluated accuracy and reliability, precision, integrity, and timeliness. So, in the simple word, DQK turns data quality from informal concern into documented and accountable process. So, DQA trust in the data, dashboard governance, and defense. What happened next? So, let's move to our next slide. Here you could see that dashboard creates signals, but dashboard do not make decision. So this slide shows the governance flow, signal review, decision, and documentation. A dashboard may show missing data, underperformance, coverage gap, or unexpected trend. But a person or team must be review the signal, interpret and decide what action is needed and what documented that decision. So human override points are also important, like duplicates, suspicion, GPS anomaly, indicator interpretation, missing disaggregation, unexpected trend, or politically or contextually sensitive findings. So dashboard cannot solve connectivity issues from harmonized problem, broken filters, or missing backup sheet by themselves. Maturity means naming limitation before they become trust failure. On the next slide, if you see, the governance foundation is also what make responsible AI use possible.
Sorry, just switching between tabs. So thank you, Forresta. So continuing our discussion around use of AI, particularly the responsible use of AI. So this year's theme for Glocal is actually the around trust and like I mentioned, the responsible use of AI. The key point is that the AI can only assist in building a trustworthy workflow. It is not the main tool for building that workflow. It is, as Forresta has continually mentioned, it's on human judgment and it's on our uh, decision based on the data that we see and the data that we present, that we can establish like a government structure where evidence standards are also maintained and not hindered with our use of AI, for which we look for efficiency, but we cannot let our standards drop below uh, a level where it actually causes harm to our participants, right? So Um, in our next slide, we continue hearing from Forresta more about this on the responsible use of AI and our readiness to utilize this technology.
Yes, thank you, Abid bhai. So now we could see that we directly come through our heart of the presentation. So here you could see that AI can be helpful in some part of evaluation workflow. It can draft meeting summarization, flag anomalies for review, generate plain language, dashboard notes, search documents, and data dictionaries, assist transaction or coding support, and prepare first draft of learning notes. And in several cases, like recently, it's getting more advanced. We are using lots of in various activities, but mostly in our case, we are using this. But AI can also be very rich. You have to keep it in mind. It should not generate official figure. It should not interpret sensitive finding without context. It should not summarize incomplete data as a final evidence. It should not use personal data in unsecured tools. It should not produce confident but unsupported narratives, and it should not replace field verification, which is very important. The rule of thumb is AI may help organize evidence, but human must own interpretation, ethic, and final decision. The next slide clarifies the boundary between current digital MERL work and control AI support. So if you go on next slide. Okay, this slide clarifies what is operational and what is control AI support. So here I would like to mention one of our case. In one of the monitoring dataset, the male and female disaggregation was incomplete. This created a problem because, here. This created a problem because the dashboard and reporting system needed gender disaggregation information for review and follow-up. Here, AI was used only as a support tool. It happened prepared a fast pass gender classification from the available record fields. This was useful because it's reduced manually cleaning time and helped the MERL team, myself, identify where the missing disaggregation could be complete. Oh, yeah. Okay, but this is the most important point. The AI output was not accepted automatically. So MERL staff and our field team review the AI assist output against the available data. Then field knowledge and practical context after validation, we found around 95% accuracy was observed and uncertain cases were checked and corrected manually. So the lesson is clear. AI accelerated the cleaning process, but the human validation made the result usable. AI was an assistant, not the authority for official reporting. So this main case also shows why responsible AI need to boundaries. Gender classification from names or text finding can be uncertain. Therefore, assumption must be documented and personal data must be protected and ambiguous cases must be reviewed manually. At the bottom of the slide, we separate the full digital MERL workflow from responsible AI support. The workflow, you could see that some of the technical part we are using like Kobo Toolbox, TQA, RScript, Looker Studio, PITT, this kind of things are we are using. And the responsible AI support is more limited. It can help with fast pass classification, anomalous trigger, list of dashboard summarize, learning notes, documentation search, and translation or coding support. But the boundary remains firm. Official figure still required validation, source change, data quality assurance logic, and documentation and human approval. So now that we have seen where AI can support the workflow, let us state very clearly what AI must not do in the trustworthy MERL system. So if you go next slide. Okay. Uh, this slide is about safeguards. So AI must not generate official figure without validation. This we have to need to be in mind. It must not use unsafe tools for identifiable participant data sensitive record. It must not make duplicate decision alone. It must not replace DQA, source document verification, and action planning. If we think about AI against the future, we need to approve data boundaries, data dictionaries, audit trails, human review, gates, and privacy and consent safeguarding. So the key message is AI readiness is mostly MERL governance readiness. To make this practical, I will now summarize the trust framework. So if you go on the next slide.
Yeah, we're on that slide. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead first.
Okay. Okay, this is the practical takeaway from the session. Based on our field experience in the project, mostly we have developed a trust framework for digital MERL workflow. It's not copied from our external framework. It is like practitioner framework, what we have practiced, especially for this G-local session and for our practitioner. So this framework has 5 simple part, especially. So if you see the T mean trace sources. So here you could see that source document, then artifacts, metadata. If we can trace the source, we cannot fully trust the result. So this is the on part. R means rules before result. Where we said that reported numbers, we need clear indicators definition, deduplication rules. So the rules must be clear before the dashboard shows the result. Then you mean use dashboard for decision. So dashboard should not only display data, they should help field team, MERL team, management, government, stakeholder, and learning team to ask better question and take better decision. So S means safeguard judgment. So AI and automation can flag issues, but human must interpret context. So human judgment cannot be replaced. That's also very important. And T means track decision. So here we have, this helps team understand not only what changed, but why it changed. So track decision is one of the key. And so the main idea is simple. Trust is built when sources, rules, decision, then judgment and documentation remain visible. For me, the most important lesson is this. In the age of AI, trustworthy MERL does not begin with automation. It begins with discipline, data governance, transparent interpretation, and accountable human judgment. So now let's see how this changes acting in practical program management. Yeah, here. So in this slide, you could see for coverage review, map shows which union or upazila have actively concretion or which area may require follow-up. For entrepreneur support, sales or outreach patterns can help identify when a nutrition agent or entrepreneur needs tailored support. For monthly performance review, the PITT or DIP dashboard helps team compare progress against target and identify like variance early. For government and engagement, map and concise snapshot can support discussion with agriculture, health, and WAS stakeholder. So the shift is from we think to we can show, review, explain, and act. This also changed the quality of conversation inside the program. On the next slide, if you go, yeah, this slide shows the like practical change in the team conversation. Before discussion could be anecdotal, we are probably reaching the area. After the workflow, team can say, here where actives are recorded and here the gaps. Before the reporting could be delayed, we will know after the reporting cycle. After the workflow, team can review, issue, and follow up faster. Before the dashboard could be seen as a display. Here are the numbers. After the dashboard become review space, we does the signal mean and what acting follows. So the real value, not only faster reporting, but better evidence-based interpretation. For other evaluation team, now I want to offer a short readiness checklist. If you go on next slide. So this checklist, before adding AI a MERL workflow, team should ask this question. So first, can every dashboard number be traced back to source record? Second, are indicator definition, unique reach rules, and disaggregation logic documented? Third, are validation, deduplication, geo-quality assurance, or data quality assurance steps are visible? Fourth, who review, approve, correct, and explain the dashboard signals? Fifth, are consent, role-based access, and data minimization rules in place? Sixth, is the meaning of the decision process where evidence is actually used? So, if the answer is unclear, fix the workflow first, then introduce AI carefully on your workflow system. So I will now close the main presentation with few discussion prompts with Abid Bhai on next slide.
All right. Thank you, Parsta, for your presentation and explaining the different steps within your MERL workflow. And most importantly for me is the trust framework that you presented, that at each level of your MERL workflow, how you aim to ensure that trust is there, the data that is being collected and reported is credible. So as we are towards the end of our presentation, before opening the floor to the audience for Q&A, I would like to present some questions for our audience, for moral teams, for project managers, for evaluators, and in general for everyone, just to think about after our session today. So firstly, for moral teams, which trust checkpoint is the weakest in your current workflow? And then for managers, what decision do you need faster and what evidence would make it credible? For evaluation practitioners, where could AI support your workflow without replacing human judgment? And in general, for everyone, what would make a dashboard evidence more trustworthy for field teams and stakeholders? So with those four questions to think about after our session today, we would like to thank you all for your patience. I would also like to thank Forresta for leading this discussion and sharing his practical experience from the Transforming Lives project. And we are now ready to open the floor to the audience for Q&A. So you can feel free to unmute and ask any questions. Thank you, everyone. All right, we have a raised hand from Indu.
Hi, Borista and Abid. Congratulations. I think this is great presentations. I really like it a lot. So, and I also understand what sort of maybe a lot of effort might have gone to this work, because as you mentioned, you are already rolling out in the implementation, but I'm also interested to know, like, since I'm sure there has been a lot of background work gone into, like, maybe because although you mentioned 2025, so just wanted to know if we want to replicate similar sort of approach in other transforming life countries or any other reason. So so what would be your suggestions, like, what are the key priorities that teams so, and just as a learning, so what we could do to make this happen in other countries? Yeah.
So thank you, Indu. I would like to head out that Indu, she's also working on our program team as a program coordinator for Asia. Thanks, Indu, for this wonderful question. So just for your information, that I would like to know that from Africa, Ghana, we had a request to support them regarding all the MERL and like MI system on the data flow cleaning. So if they are able to reach out us to directly, we could support them, and we already doing so. And another approach could be from the TLTN consortium. We could make a learning or maybe a digital platform where we could post all kind of recording and technical learning from our end, and we can post there. And there could be a platform where we could share our learning and our expertise on that platform, as we are doing for our newsletter. Maybe we could create this kind of platform where we could make some of the webinar or some of the session for training as well for them. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Thank you so much. One other question I had, if I have time, okay. So because
Sure.
sometimes, so we are working as a consortium within Transforming Lives, and we have had a lot of discussion about unique reads, right? Like, is there a way, because I know we have a lot of interventions, and it might be the case that the same people is reached through multiple interventions. So is there a way that we could identify unique reads, like, so what is the total number of people, like, individuals reached by the overall program? So if there has been some discussion on that, or is there sort of possibility to integrate that?
Thank you, Indu. So I could give the real example for Bangladesh, as we have overlap in our country, like in Borishal, where Helen Keller also ourselves we are working. So in some of the organization, it could be a bit difficult, because there might be some data sharing policy in the organization. As Helen Keller and ID, we already came to an agreement for this project purpose. We could easily share the data. So we have to make the first, what we need to be collected in the organization in the same intervention, we need to be recorded. The data table should be same, like Helen Keller, it might be ID. So what we're doing for the cooking demonstration, in the same area, we also conducting cooking demonstration. Also, like they are also conducting cooking demonstration as an indicator. So what we're doing now, we are taking all the information, like their mobile numbers, their address, and everything. So we are based on the mobile number, we are checking the duplication check. If you found any of the duplication, then we try to match the name or number. Maybe it happened that we found the number duplicate, but the presenter was different. Like on time, the wife was joined, and sometimes maybe the daughter was joined in the two different organization occasion. So this could be happen. So in our system recently, we are using R script to do so, which is a very fast process. So we develop this script, and when we run, we automated able to figure those were the duplicate person, and these are the duplicate beneficiaries we need to check. And I think among the consortium agreement and with the MERL instruction, we could make a platform where we could check, or maybe we could make a AI agent where we could upload all the data that could also guide us that these numbers are duplicate, which I'm trying to implement for our next year. Maybe we are trying to practice that so that could be more easier and helpful to go through that. Thanks, Indu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Boris. Also, maybe within one organization, we could see, because we have multiple, like the WASH, agriculture, and a lot of other activities. So I think that would make sense to have, once you pilot that, it would be good to learn maybe next year. Yeah, thanks so much, Boris. That's really helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bit and Boris, for your presentation. This is very interesting. Yeah. Our MERL team here in Cambodia, we never have experience using AI to support building dashboard, like you mentioned. Yeah, could you share your experience using AI to support building dashboard? Could you give some example? And you mentioned AI. So, but what kind of AI that you use currently use? Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Kim Hong. So recently, most people are using ChatGPT. So what we are using mostly ChatGPT and NAT, and also in our working station, we are using Google platform workstation. We have also Gemini. with us. So these three more tools we are using, but as example, I gave the AI I use. So I connected the API of ChatGPT with our data set. And as I giving the case studies that in starting from the beginning of the 2024, when we planning and designing the MERL system, that time the male and female disaggregation was missing from the data. So based on their naming, we connected the API and they give us a result, which we have found that 95% data was accurate. And that was impressive, like what we have found. And that's the most tool we are using. So recently we are using N8N. This is a platform for agent. You could do lots of automation with this workflow, so you could look at that. But mostly we're using ChatGPT, Google Gemini, also notebook LM for like for learning and also training purpose. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Kim Hong. I'm from Cambodia. Thank you for your presentation. It was so great to join the sharing session today. I have one question regarding to the integration from the COBOL to the table or maybe spreadsheet. And my question is, how do you integrate from COBOL? How you pull the data from COBOL to spreadsheet? And is it free or how much does it cost in your workflow?
Okay, that's a very legit question. So we use the Google Sheet. I think also you might be also use Google Sheet. So for the app script, so if you don't have the loop option, you could do easily. You don't need to buy or add anything. If you have the Kobo account, I know already ID has the paid Kobo account. So from that, with the app script, you could easily with the script pull the data. You don't need to invest any kind of money in here. So this is one thing. And personally, what we are doing to pulling the data, we develop an app script on the Google Sheet. That app script pulling full data to our master sheet, where coming as a raw data. Then we also develop another script that's doing the cleaning process. Then we have developed a third data script, which is doing the duplication check. So after this process, we then bring to dashboard. So there is a several process. So you could contact me directly in person. Maybe I could share this script with you and you could try it on your system. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I will be happy if you can share some process.
Yeah, sure. Sure, I'll do so. Sure, I'll do so.
Because in Cambodia, we use Google spreadsheet and pull data from the Google tool as well. Hopefully that it will be helpful for our team in Cambodia. And yeah, thank you very much. It was a great presentation. Thank you from our team Cambodia.
All right, Sarah Anand, you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, just a very small question. Maybe I understood it wrong or something. I just wanted to clarify. Since Porista mentioned about connecting the dataset API to ChatGPT and finding precision of like 95%, so I was wondering, does it hamper the privacy of the dataset or things of that sort, or it's fine?
So thank you again. As you mentioned, Sarah, that we also get instruction from organization like sharing the data with open platform or open source platform, OpenAI. It could be risky. But here I would like to mention that other organizations like my ex-colleague from WP, Unisier, they are officially getting the ChatGPT and other AI platform as their source AI tool. So they're getting officially. And another thing, you have an option to the ChatGPT. If you just click there that you don't want to build or update their model through your data, in this case, whatever data you are using, they are not going to use that in their platform or in their modeling model. So there is a policy on that. So based on the policy, you have to make sure that you off that when you are doing some of the confidential work. Make sure you don't develop there or you don't share the privacy to them. So when I'm doing this kind of data, especially in our project data, I always try to make sure that so that they don't use our data to update their model. So in this case, it could be safe. Thank you.
All right, we're almost at the end of our session. Okay, Mr. Firoj Al Mujahid, you have a question? Feel free to unmute.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me. I'm from Rangahati. Actually, I'm working in access to and utilization of life-saving project. This is also a nutrition based project, you know. So here we collect data using our ONA system. As you know, Helen Keller has its own system app that is ONA. So we have to download this data in CSV format or something like that. So is it possible to automate this CSV to Google script? Means if I just follow your example that you have downloaded in Google Sheet, and then you are scripting this to actually transform this data or modifying this data, and then you are checking duplicates, and then finally the clean data you are connecting to a dashboard so that a dashboard has a clear and meaningful view of data in a means it views data in a meaningful way. So is it possible to actually transfer this in an automated process, you know, when I'm downloading to CSV, then if I just connect it to Google Script? I'm just asking if it is possible, then it will be also helpful for us.
Okay, Firuz bhai, as you mentioned that you guys are using like a different workflow. So it could be private and it could be your own organization system. In this case, if the system builder, they able to make this availability API to share data to connect with your Google Sheet, it could be possible. So as per example, I could say we're using a open platform, it's called Kobo Collect. So there is a API system where we can easily connect anywhere. It's not only that Google Sheet, it could be in Excel, it could be any R script, or we could easily get the data, or we could easily connect the data. So if this system is available, so you have to contract with your organization, author who built this or who managing this system. Is it possible or not? If the source is possible to connecting the data through your system, definitely other things is easily possible to do the automation. Hope that give your answer.
Yeah, thank you. But one more thing, I was just trying to understand. We can download it in Excel in CSV format. So if I connect that CSV with Google Sheet, is it possible or not? Means with scripting or something like that?
Yeah, that's easily possible. So if you have the Google Drive, from your data, if you build the R script, it's easily possible. Or maybe Python, it's easily possible. Like you just have to do, like you have to place the file on the Google Sheet, or maybe on the on your Google Drive. Then if you want to merge, then you have to write the merging script for that. So the platform will be just giving few examples. So as per example, you download the data January month, and you want to combine this data with February data and January data. So all you have to need to write this script, download the January data, and you have to just combine this data, or you have to merge the data through the script. That's easily possible, definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you everyone for your questions. We're near the end of our session, but I also wanted to raise a few points for us to think about beyond this session. So technology, as we know, is advancing pretty fast. It's a fast-changing world. The use of AI recently has been picking up in our work and in many different sectors. So we are also navigating through a time where data protection policies are also being updated. We're in our work, we're also learning and adapting and training ourselves how to better use AI. Forresta here, from my experience, is an relatively advanced user. Me personally, I have been very resistant at the start in applying AI in different aspects of our work. But going forward, we need to ensure the ethics side of it, how we are utilizing AI, what we are feeding into AI, what information it's processing, and where it is being stored, right? So these are questions we have some level of clarity on, but there's still remains some ambiguity. So I want to ask everybody to be cognizant of the fact that this is still a learning process. Of course, AI helps with our efficiency. Of course, we can utilize it to generate cooler reports, make things look visually more striking. But we also have to consider what is being fed into AI, where it is being stored. And on the other end of the ethics side is these different GPT models, ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. Although they're being used more and more day by day, we also need to consider that there's also like a environmental trade-off. So the servers and processors that power these tools that we are utilizing, they require natural resources, right? So that's something I also want folks to think about beyond this session. Yes, keep using AI, keep learning how to utilize it better, but also be aware of the effects that it may have on the personal lives of people whose data we're feeding into the system, and as well as the environment. So with that, I would like to close today's session. Once again, thank you everyone for joining our session today. Hopefully, like myself, you have learned a lot from Forresta's presentation, and we look forward to hearing more from our other sessions at this year's Glocal. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Abin.